really tired of you. You'd save yourself a lot of trouble if you just told me what happened.
Nothing to tell.
Look, I know you were there. I know that you did it. Save me the wear and tear and confess. You're the one that pulled the trigger.
Well, I figure if you could prove that, we wouldn't be here, would we?
Cut.
Cut.
Hey, hold on.
Hello, I'm Charles Gross. Welcome to Picture Up, a series of student films from Austin Community College's Radio Television Film Department. Right here at ACCRTF, we are cultivating the media storytellers and technicians of the future. Whether it's a transfer degree, a workforce training certificate, or a degree, students are mentored by instructors with active experience in state-of-the-art production studios and labs. In this episode, we'll be screening films from the 2016-2017 school year. Texas is known for its legends, from Davy Crockett to Troy Aikman. Our first films tonight explore two local legends. Unknown explores the decades-old mystery of a slain girl and the town that adopted her as one of their own. Fredericksburg native Greg Bakey shot the film on location. Our second film tells the legend of Sam Bass, outlaw cowboy, a little-known figure from the Old West, whose sad fate you'll soon see. Up first, though, Simba, a charming film about our best friends and what they do when we're not home.
He was raised in Indiana, leaves home at an early age, wanders off to try his hand and scrape an honest wage, rides west to drive the longhorn steer across the Texas plains. That's when young Sam and his buddies take to robbing trains. Sam Bass never shot a man till the day he died. Sam Bass lingered with a bullet in his side. He was laid to rest in the shade of an oak, and the last words that he spoke, "This world is trouble, trouble wherever you go." It was mid-July and the wind blew dry on a dusty downtown street. Rumors of the Bass Gang circulated in the heat. A keen-eyed ranger spies old Sam and reaches for his gun. Barrel smoking, horses both, and outlaws on the run. Sam Bass never shot a man till the day he died. Sam Bass lingered with a bullet in his side. He was laid to rest in the shade of an oak, and the last words that he spoke, "This world is trouble, trouble wherever you go."
In the 1920s, a young girl's body was discovered off one of the highways leading out of the west of town. And of course, we immediately assumed it might be one of our local children. And when, of course, you already had phones and everything in the 20s, so when the alarm went out among the people and it was determined after a few days that it was not one of our children, then of course that was equally sad because it was someone's child. You didn't have any national resources at that time as far as you would have a computer today, a computer base, an alert, national database, all of that. You didn't have DNA testing, you didn't have any of those things you'd have now, so they just had to put a general alarm out to the police stations they could in certain parts of the country, and she was never matched to anybody that that they had a record of. When you have something like that happen, you have all sorts of people looking crossways at anybody, but I don't think there were ever any strong suspects. To my knowledge, I don't ever remember that a young child was ever murdered here. And then also you know that you didn't have the indefinite keeping of a person's body at that time either, I'm sure. The community decided that if that was our child someplace that was found brutally murdered, we would hope those people would do right by that child and give him a good church and a dignified funeral and burial. And so our community rallied around in mass and gave her a wonderful funeral and burial. The funeral was large. They said everybody couldn't get in the church. That was a good-sized church, Holy Ghost Lutheran Church. Like if you'd bury a veteran that died in Vietnam or World War II, the people felt of kinship and respect and an emotional attachment to that girl. So she had a very large funeral. Most people were rural at that time. It was a small town, absolutely. I would say in the 3,000 to 4,000 range at that time, because we're only a little over 10 now and it's had a tremendous growth. She's buried in der Stadtfriedhof, and that's German for the town cemetery. This one is the oldest one in the county, 1846. It's the largest. It has over 5,000 people. Because I'm the one that teaches the history of the community, and I always have 2 classes in my home, and the 3rd class is at der Friedhof to show them a range of the history of our community. And I always end it at that grave. It's kind of a finale. And the children became kind of inspired by that girl, because I told her how she didn't have any chances in life. Had a terrible, brutal end, and then didn't have a life like I expected them to have. So for years, either my ex-students or a few other people in the community actually always kept flowers on her grave. You know, a cemetery has all the parts of history. You can read it like a book if you know something about the book. As I'm 5th generation in this town and know most of those names, there isn't a row I can't go down and there won't be somebody on there that I knew, whether that was a good person or a scoundrel or had an interesting family or rather boring. And she's certainly an important part of one of the chapters of the cemetery in the town.
So you would say that you've kept the story alive. You've helped.
Well, I've helped. I wouldn't assume to have done anything by myself, but I've certainly been a part of it, keeping it alive.
I feel like you don't know me very well. My eyes don't lie. I can see so clearly now. My mind can't find which way it's gonna lead me. Find out what's right, so it can end and begin. Don't leave me. Just believe.
Welcome back to Picture Up, presented by the Austin Community College RTF Department. RTF is dedicated to teaching both the theoretical and the practical, preparing students for the challenges of professional filmmaking and media creation. You know, Texas legends aren't only in the past. Our next film is about a man who turned away from a life of gangs and drugs towards a higher calling. In and around Waco, he's known simply as OG Pastor. Our final film is a meditation on love. What does it mean to truly love and be loved? To what ends will people go for their loved ones? Let's find out in Motions of Love.
Hello everybody, my name is Pastor G from Life Church Waco. Been a leader here in this city in Waco, Texas since I was 11 years old. It wasn't until I was 24 years old that I was able to lead in the right direction, and now I'm 41. The way we got our Life Church going on, Life Church Waco, was I went to a church in the north part of Waco that had a heart to reach out to the south part of Waco where I'm from, and we just came together, joined forces, and been doing it ever since.
He said they broke like me, so I took them up on his altar so my eyes could see the congregation was the realest.
So you don't get the support to do good that you get for doing bad. You got a lot of cheerleaders, a lot of people to support you to do bad, but you don't get that much to do good. And so it was really hard, because even that make you feel like an outcast. There's not too many people that are kind of like where I come from.
He's talking about you like he was talking to me. Tattoos on my body and some fresh gold teeth. I met my boy Pastor G on the side of the street. Criminal background, yeah, he just like me.
A lot of times I do feel like I don't fit in. They don't make me feel that way. It's just my experience, my background, kind of how I look, all that stuff. So
I never seen so many people that look just like me.
I get involved with guns and drugs was just at an early age, seeing that in my environment, everybody around me, family members, and just engaging in that kind of crime. And so I naturally fell into it and had a desire at a young age to do those things. So the charges I was charged with was machine gun possession, and I had a small charge on drugs. And so I ended up doing 24 months in federal prison at Bastrop. I've always been a person of influence, and so I influenced a lot of people around me and my family and things like that. And so for me to get out, because I was kind of like a leader in the community, I had people wanting me, waiting for me to do wrong. But you know, when I ended up going to church and my life changed, it wasn't really that hard, because I'm a knucklehead anyway, and I was just that type of, I'm just a leader naturally, the way God created me. And so God can really change you, and just a beautiful thing. So it doesn't do anything but humble me and keep me excited that there's people out there that need that same hope. And so just like if you're out there doing bad by yourself, because you can't do it by yourself, but it's better to do it with other people, you know what I mean? A team, because you're more successful at being bad or doing bad. Well, the same thing happens when you're doing good. You're going to be successful when you're surrounded by people that are doing good, because you inspire each other and you sharpen each other up. And so in that sense, it wasn't as hard because I was busy still doing life. So it's just it's a different world, but it's a beautiful world to live in, man. And it builds people up, not tear people down. You know what I'm saying? And that's the joy of living a life that makes a difference, for real. Like, it's bad to the bone. I love it, man. Basically just having a piece of heaven down here on earth. And for me, this is a piece of heaven.
Even though you by my side, I still struggle. Trying to deal with the things that I juggle. Trying to hold on to the good, but I fumble. Trying to make it out these woods, it's a jungle. Praying out to you when things start to crumble. And somehow I'm still here, I'm so humbled. I don't deserve to be, but somehow you stay close to me. Through all the trials, tribulations, and adversities, you shape and mold me, provide food and you clothe me. Oh, help me, Lord, I want your spirit to control me. With all my heart, I'm trying to do what you tell us walk, I still get lonely.
sometimes you are not free to do whatever you want to do. No matter what. Sometimes I feel personally
The best part about being in love, you have someone there who loves you unconditionally. You could be probably the worst person in the world, but you still have that one person that loves you for you, and it's not really something that can be taken away, obviously. Even if they die, you still love them.
Having somebody that you start to completely confide in, that share 24 hours of your day.
Probably for right now, it's just having like somebody that I can count on, that is a friend that I can hang out with every day and go do something fun with, and we are on the same page with things most of the time.
To belong to somebody, that it's part of this person belongs to me and it's mine, and to have this person forever, or hope to have it forever.
Having someone there for you, no matter what. Sometimes I feel like it would be easier to not love someone. I've lost people, that you love, and of course it would be easier not to feel that loss.
You care for them so deeply, and it starts to affect you.
Letting him down, like when I disappoint him or I do something that upsets him, I think that's the hardest part, because then I feel like I just feel really bad about it, like I've let him down. And
there are, challenges in everyone's life. As soon as you stick with one and the same person day in and day out.
Sometimes you are not free to do whatever you want to do because you have a partner. And if you respect this partner and you are in love with this partner, you want to make sure that this person is happy as well. And therefore, sometimes you have to make different decisions. And that sometimes makes me unhappy, because I want to do something and I know if I do this, he would be unhappy.
But with love and a marriage or a relationship, you set your mind to it and there's no question of it anymore. I have to do what it takes to keep it going, to keep it kindled, to keep it feeling good. If you waste too much time thinking about other things or what you don't have, then the person you're with, you lose that. I think you really start to become more negative.
I really think just the way that how society is nowadays, how our lives are structured and all that, for you to stumble across your true love, I don't really see that happening.
It's a lot about how people are being raised, what they experience in their childhood, what they see. Love and dedication is, comes down to, again, a lot of respect and to the notion that you say, hey, I'm going to stick with you, through thick and thin.
Now that I'm older now and I have friends that have been married for a long time too, and I watch their relationships and I see the ones that haven't lasted, that are really struggling, are the ones that's kind of stopped, they give up and they're not working. I think I'll have to be working on it for the rest of my life.
In order to keep love for a long time, I think what you need is a lot of tolerance, a lot of respect for each other, lots of it, patience. And I got that from my husband. When we dated, he was very tolerant. He gave me a lot of space so I could live my life and grow.
It can be very hard, very hard. Days will go by without clearing it up. You just kind of go on, but then you realize that how uncomfortable and unhappy everything is, and all you have to do is just take that one little step to apologize, that one little step to let her know you care.
Well, I think there's different kinds of love, different, I guess, levels and intensity of love.
Love grows with the family as well. I mean, sure, you love your partner, but there's an additional love, you know, for your child, for your children. You know, once you start having children, it just becomes an extended kind of family love.
Love means not losing yourself in someone, but finding someone that helps you to become a better person.
Love means that I'm very, very connected with another person, with my husband, or with my daughter, or with my family and my friends.
That. Something that can touch you inside that nothing else can. It just grows in you, it's in you, and it just comes pouring out around the right person.
Thank you very much for joining us for the second episode of ACC RTF's ongoing series. Our students remain hard at work producing original digital stories, and we'll be bringing those movies to you in future episodes. Until then, please visit us on the web, where you can learn more about the RTF program, see more of our students' work, as well as apply to Austin Community College. I'm your host, Charles Gross. This has been Picture Up. Good night.